What's up, y'all? We back with another episode of Buy Your Business Podcast. I am your host, Simone, your CEO and founder, and my two lovely guests here. We're just changing it up a little bit. I have my two lovely guests, one all the way from North Carolina. Y'all give it up for my girl, Jess, with Honey Listen Podcast. Hey, y'all give it up for my boy from the boot to the bay, New Orleans raised, California living. Y'all give it up for my boy, Easy.
Okay, okay.
So y'all tell people a little bit about y'all podcast. Tell people what got y'all started with this podcast.
Honey, you go first.
Right. So what got me started? I started my podcast in 2020 during the pandemic. But I wanted to do a podcast or a talk show way before all this shit happened. I was like, but I didn't have the courage to do it. But I was like, we in the house, we stuck in the house, ain't nothing to do but to buy stuff. So let me buy some equipment, let me play with some things.
Mm-hmm.
And I started Honey Listen.
Or saying I would tell with the brown voice, Honey Listen, okay?
Not
Honey,
ugly
listen.
hair, you North Carolina girly.
Sure is, sure is. Right, tell the people what you got, Easy Handle.
Yeah, mine's kind of sort of the same. It was after COVID. And honestly, I got the opportunity to join a podcast under the FOH brand, the Sports of Conflict podcast, which now we nominated for favorite podcast of the 70 awards. But yeah, I got invited to as a guest to do a couple episodes there, and that
Mm-hmm.
transpired to actually joining the show. And then after being on the show, getting comfortable, I was like, you know what? I need my own platform now to branch off and do my thing. Instead of just talking about sports, we talk about
Right.
straight facts. So that's kind of how Straight Facts came about. And yeah, now we're here.
That's what's up. I'm glad y'all on this episode, y'all. So we're gonna make a disclaimer to the folks, like, we got an episode that's coming up that's gonna ruffle a little feathers, but if you're taking it to heart, that's okay, but we gonna talk about it because we gonna get to the real. We definitely gonna get to the real about it. So this episode is gonna be entitled, Should Friends and Relationships Be Intertwined in the Business? So yeah, we gotta get to it because sometimes people don't understand the concept. Like whenever we starting a business, every time we got this podcast, we got this brand, we got this platform that we all created, and for a fact we always try to get everybody on. We try to make sure like the people that we love, people that we have significant others with, all that good stuff. We try to make sure we try to get them on, we try to make sure that they level up the same way that we leveling up. And sometimes, our future is not with that person. Sometimes they can't come with us. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, like, let's talk about it. Like, Jess, you start. Let's start from your perspective about this.
Honey, because I'm speaking from the standpoint of relationship.
Okay.
Okay. Me, look, me and my ex are actually, this Honey Listen is my ex and me. That's us.
Mm-hmm.
We're the co-hosts. But I let my ex be my co-host after the breakup. After it's been like a year,
Mm-hmm.
years. He wanted to be on actually when I started it. He was like, "Babe, I think it's a great idea. Let's do it together." And I was like, "All right, this is a me thing. I want to do
Push
this."
pause. Push
Okay,
pause. Yeah.
you can support me, but this is my shit.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But this is mine. I want to do this. This is what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, that's cool. I had him on for like one or two episodes. I was like, okay, I'm seeing some things, but this is still my shit. So
Okay.
it wasn't until after I feel like we were in a good friendship space that I was like, you know what? I took a year off from my podcast. I wanted to do things differently. I said, you know what? You pushed me to get back up on here. Come on, boy. Come on, get on this thing. So we did season 3 together, and it was great. It was great. Content was great. Conversation was great. But the scheduling
Wow.
was a problem because he streams on Twitch. He's a professional gamer.
Mm-hmm.
And that seemed to take priority. From my point of view, that took priority over the podcast.
Right.
So if streaming and gaming is your baby, Honey Listen is mine. I don't play by my baby. Okay.
Yeah, and you stick to your
So
baby. You
I
got to
felt
make sure
like
your baby
we
grow.
clashed on where the podcast was a priority in our lives. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had a conversation with him, very real, very honest. I was like, I'm gonna be real. I want you a part of the team. I do. I love you as my co-host. But you know better than anybody, I don't play about this shit. This
Right.
I don't play about.
Right.
And if you can't have it as a priority like it is for me, that's cool. But I'll let you in on certain things as I see fit for you. Because with or without you, Honey Listen still has to go on. That's my
Exactly.
mindset about it. Period. With or without anybody with me, it still has
Mm-hmm.
to happen. I still have to produce content. I still have to put out episodes. I still have to make sure we're expanding and growing with or without you. Like, that's just what it is. I think everybody can agree with or
Yeah,
without me.
definitely.
It is what it is. I'll see you at the top. Maybe I won't. But
Right. Definitely. I can agree. I could definitely agree to that because, like, sometimes people don't understand, like, whenever you putting content out, like, it takes time. Like, it takes time to perfect your project. It takes time to put anything into what you're doing. And they don't realize, like, sometimes people just want to be in front of the camera, be like, hey, this is, yeah, I'm on this podcast. Look, I look good. I'm fresh. Got my line. I got my braids. I got my nails. You know what I'm saying? But like people don't understand what it takes, like to put effort into what you starting. Like you can't just start it and just be a one-hit wonder. You know, that is right. It's good passion behind it. If you know that's your project and you want to see it flourish.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. But since then, I feel like me and him, even with this collaboration, we
Mm-hmm.
had to have a discussion. I, I was like, no shade to you, no hurt, no harm. I would love for you to be on here, but it's about me. Okay, right? It's about me.
Right.
That's just what it is. Okay, you can be on the next one. You can be on the next one. All right,
Yeah.
but it definitely, and mixing feelings in it
Yeah.
too. Talking I could be talking about a past situation or even currently dating. I can talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes, I'll see about it. Chill. No, you won't. No, you won't. You've made one too many jokes about vetting whoever I decide to date. You calm down. Relax.
Okay.
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 So, like, chill out. But
In honor of Women's History Month, we are back with another ad. Captivating Beauty Company is a cosmetic brand proudly owned and operated by a young entrepreneur by the name of Elena J. Lamel. She highlights empowerment and representation in the industry. Captivating Beauty offers a range of lip products, blush palettes, mascara, brow pencils, with many more to come. Captivating Beauty believes in an outreach and education, partnering with local elementary schools for Reading Across America's initiative, senior networking organizations, and volunteers with Council on Aging. The vision for the future is to expand the line, enter new markets, and having a lasting impact in cosmetic industry. Make sure you follow this company at Captivating Beauty Company, that's with the K, on IG, and Captivating Faces and Beauty on Facebook. Visit www.captivatingfaces.com to shop and book your next appointment. Now back to the show.
one thing that I will say that's been super beneficial from him and I working together was a lot of past issues in our relationship
Mm-hmm.
that we never talked about together. Like together at odds, but nobody's communicating.
Right.
So one benefit from season 3, which I honestly was like, dude, thank you so much. We got to see each other as individuals. As Jessica and Marcus, these are who these people are. And I had to look at him. I was like, you're a dope dude. You was pretty cool. Like, okay, this is what I'm saying. This is really who you are. And he was like, I didn't know you was like that. I'm like, well, here we are. And the friendship is great. The dynamic that we have on Honey Listen is super amazing. I'm really grateful for it. It does have its ins and outs, and sometimes I'm like, we do bicker. We do have moments where I'm like, be on this episode because we
Y'all
going
just
at
be
it, and
right.
right. We need a break. We need a minute.
Right.
But
No.
ultimately, I say it's
Right. No. So before we move on to Easiana, so is the podcast just based off like a relationship standpoint, or does it just focusing on other topics?
So at Honey Listen, I like to say we talk about anything and everything.
Oh,
We've talked
gotcha.
about healing. We've talked about mental health. We talked about trauma. We talked about sex. We talked about relationships. We talked about religion. Anything and everything. There's nothing that's off limits for us. And currently, right now, I'm actually talking about Black women and our experience in America, what we go through, what we don't get to talk about, and I'm inviting people in to see that little intimate aspect of our world. So nothing's off limit.
And then it's Women's History Month, so hey, shout outs to us, okay?
You know,
Yeah.
gotta do it for the girl.
All right, so Easiana, give me a little insight about you with this topic.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real, and my friends can tell you, I don't do business with my friends.
Right.
We gotta build something like first, like before we say, for instance, and I'm gonna use Above the Earth because I'm now in a partnership with my guy, which is one of my closest friends, Prince. Before we were friends, I was a supporter. I reached out to him on Twitter, like, hey, trying to buy some merch. And then just over the years of support, the offer came like, hey man, hey, what you think about becoming an ambassador? What you think about becoming a sponsor? What you think about becoming an investor? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like those type of relationships are the ones that really work with business because again, to do business together, you gotta have that same interest, that same drive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can like Honey was saying, like the show still gotta go on. If I feel like we need to do something, we need to do it. Like this is a priority in my life, so it needs to be a priority in your life too. And as far as like business with friends, honestly, I don't have none of my businesses. It's all like people that see my drive and like come to me and like, hey, let's work. As far as me starting a business and bringing somebody else in, honestly, like what I build is for me.
Right.
Like, nothing against nobody, but again, ain't nobody gonna push like me. I don't care who you is. You ain't gonna push like me, and that's what I need. I need 2 or 3 me's, not other people who just want to join. Because when shit get tough, it's like and motherfuckers back out. It's like I still want to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as like that, I don't really do business with friends. Now, as far as like being partnerships and things like that in a relationship, I feel like it has to be something again. It has to be something that both you guys share interest in, and because once that breakup happens, and if y'all still friends, it has to be able to you guys still have to be business partners.
Right.
No
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, like I said, I just learned that doing business with close people, family and things, sometimes it burns the relationship. So I try to stay away from that.
No, I agree.
As much as possible.
I definitely agree with you because, like, for example, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this because it went viral. Like, what's that podcast? With Megan Ashley and B Simone. They was friends for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And then now they don't even have the podcast no more. because of because
Oh,
of issues,
damn.
like
Yeah, man.
because of because of issues, and then at the
Right.
same time is
And that's
what you were
no,
saying.
I was gonna say just with podcasting, it's podcasting, even doing podcasting together, that has to be to where like, okay, hey, whoever's hosting, you guys got to be open to conversations,
Mm-hmm.
but then you
Right.
also have to be able to help hold this conversation and know, hey, this is our conversation. We have different views, and that's it. It's just conversation for the content on camera. And at the end of the day, if you feel bad after a conversation we had on one episode, then obviously this ain't for you. You
Mm.
know? So nah,
And it's
definitely, man.
okay. It's okay to agree to disagree, but at the same time, like, if you can't have that mind frame to be like, hey, you got this certain type of view, I have this certain type of view,
Yeah.
like, hey, we just gonna have to agree to disagree, but we still gonna be friends, we still gonna love on each other, and it's like just being real with each other. And it's like sometimes nowadays people is so in their feelings when it comes down to stuff like this, building a platform. And I'm like, if I'm supposed to be your friend, if I'm your friend and I'm giving you the real, and I want to see you elevate, you know what I'm saying? Like, why you get mad at me because I'm coming hard on you? Plain and
Right.
simple. I just want to
And
see
then
you
9 times out
elevate.
of 10, the topics at hand, it be topics that's general topics
Plain
that
and
the whole
simple. I
world
just
is
want to see you
discussing.
right. Elevate. Right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, definitely. And again, man, like I said, even and to speak on sports of conflict, conflict of sports. I say sports of conflict. Conflict of sports. The podcast, it's the name says it all. Conflict of sports.
Mm-hmm.
So the sports podcast, we're not just all agreeing. I'm not about to disagree
Right.
with you to be on here.
Yeah, y'all
It's
went
conflict
ham
Mm-hmm.
of
on
sports.
one episode.
I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah.
Y'all went
Yeah,
ham
nah.
on one episode.
Okay, look.
Y'all go back and look at the few episodes. You know, again, it's a lot of times us as the host, we
Mm-hmm.
clash because we don't
Yeah.
agree with the sports. But again, right after we finish recording, guess what? That's over with. We recorded and now we back. We cool now. We
Right.
still
Yeah.
friends.
Right.
So yeah, man,
I think,
you definitely have
I'm
to have
sorry,
the
I
same
look.
drive.
For real. I think something too, as we're talking about it and it's coming out, it's a difference between professionalism, like personal and
Yep.
professionalism. People have to learn, we have to separate business from personal. Okay? If you
Yeah,
beefing with me or we got an issue personally,
Mm-hmm.
let's leave that shit over there at the door. We're here to work. We're here to produce this content. Too many people, I feel like they don't know how to separate it. So it gets messy. That's how
yeah,
things start to end because we don't have enough professionalism to leave what's between you and I out of it.
And yep, that's the thing. Like, people don't, like, now the way how we think, and I see that we on the same vibe with how we thinking. Like, we have a drive for our platform. We have a drive to make sure that we are out there, people noticing us, people seeing who we are behind, in front of the cameras, behind the cameras, just us as normal people, right? But like, when you don't, like I said, if you can't separate that, then baby, you need to get baptized 5 times and start your life all over again, because we need to do something about that. You know, we need to do something about that, because it's like you're not mature. Like, and we understand that this is your first time getting into it. We understand it. Sometimes it's we people first time getting into the business, getting into podcasting and all that stuff. But if I'm teaching you and you can't accept that, then something wrong.
For real.
Something
For
wrong.
real.
Something wrong. Like, you can't accept exactly, and you're not coachable, and you can't accept constructive criticism. That's the main thing. And that's what makes it to be extra messy, because they can't accept nothing.
Right.
They can't accept it at all. And I'm just like, y'all leaving me with a headache. I'm like, I'm just trying to teach you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to elevate. But what you doing? All in your feelings.
Right. Don't you want to eat?
Yeah.
Right. Don't you want to
You
eat?
talking
Don't you want to
about,
get a plate?
that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
it takes time, like, and I understand, like, we starting this podcast and stuff, and it takes time for us to get revenue off of this. The people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you're trying to build yourself up, you gotta invest more than anything. Just saying, you have to invest more into your platform than anything. And they don't get that. Like, you just think that just gonna get a lump sum of money just on one episode. Nah. Like you still got to continue to build
Exactly.
yourself up, make your name known out there. And I'm like, oh Jesus,
Okay.
make your
They
name
think
known
it's
out there.
overnight. Ooh, some people it does happen overnight, but nonetheless they still have to grind and make
Yeah,
sure they stay on top.
right.
They gotta keep doing it, keep going, keep going,
Facts.
keep going.
Consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Consistency.
consistency.
And then,
The biggest part of
yeah,
it.
and I think that's what most people like when they first starting off. That's what they fail at with the consistency. And sometimes it may not just be the person who starts the platform. You know what I mean? It just it probably be the other people around them. Wait, got some chicken wings. Where your wine at? You should have get your wine. You should have get your wine. But yeah, like just people people just don't know how to separate professionalism and like you said, being personal. Are you chewing down? Oh Lord. So since we're going towards the end of the episode, okay, so how would you say with this topic, how would you imply this topic in your future towards your podcast? Like how would you intertwine it if you want to add people to your team? How would you go about that?
So me starting out, if I was to add anyone to the Straight Facts, they would strictly come in as a guest host, like straight guest.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
again, I need to record at the time I need to record, and again, I'm
Right.
most of my
Right.
people in Louisiana, so that's 2 hours automatically, and 8 my time, 10 their time, 9 times out of 10 they ain't gonna stay up that late to record. Saturday, cool, I understand is that you off, whatever, but again, we need to get this episode. So again, you can be a guest, and that way, hey, if the guests don't show up, I can still run my show.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
to say, or if hey, if you serious, then you start the podcast and I'll join you and we'll build together.
Right.
If you can't start it, then hey, I mean, you ain't really into it, just to say. So, honestly, I don't think moving forward, I don't think I would join another podcast unless it's like again something for us like I had before under the FOH brand. So me
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
my now ex, we used to have the FOH after dark, so it would have to be
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
It would have to be something like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which like
Right.
Honey was
Right.
like what Honey was saying. Her ex worked out and became a host and co-host on doing a show. It would be something like that to where now we're in that friendship zone to where now it's like we can talk about things more openly now and no one get
Mhm.
mad and
Mhm.
just feelings not all over. So it would definitely have
Mm-hmm.
to be something like that. But yeah, I don't think I would probably join another podcast or not me starting something and then bringing somebody in. We would have to start it together.
Definitely agree with you on that. Because like I said, in the previous conversations that we had, like building the blueprint for that is extremely hard. It's extremely hard, and it takes a lot of time to put into what you're starting to make sure that it continues to flow. And sometimes, like when you have a team and they just don't understand it. And I'm like, let's take some time in, let's just do this, let's do that. And I'm like, you're not putting in the effort. I just don't see it. So why should I continue on having you? you know but like we say, people getting their feelings too much. They always want to feel like you trying to belittle them or something like that, and it's not that. It's just the fact that I want to see you elevate. I know you got it in you, but what you shy for, what you scared for? You just want to be seen. Hey, like I said, you want to, I'm fresh. I got my little fresh cut. I'm just looking good on the camera. I got my little fresh braids. I'm good. But you ain't putting in the work. What's going on with that? And again, disclaimer to all the viewers: look, we not throwing no shade, but we just speaking facts. How
Right.
you feel about that, Jeff? We not throwing no
Exactly.
shade, but we just speaking facts.
I mean, that's what, and like you said, that's what most people think it
Mm-hmm.
is.
How you feel about that, Jeff?
Listen, because
Mm-hmm.
exactly, like I know, I agree. I would definitely, if I ever had any ideas of wanting to have a co-host, you are a guest
Mm-hmm.
first. That's your audition for
Right.
me. If you want to be on here, honey, listen, you're gonna be a guest. I'm gonna give you a script. You're gonna come up with what you have to come up with. If you cannot give me what I'm asking
Mm-hmm.
for when I send you your list,
Mm-hmm.
you got an episode.
That's it.
That's what you got an
That's it.
episode.
That's it.
But
That's it.
with even with my ex, I told y'all he wanted to be a part of it from the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. You had to show me
Mm-hmm.
that you wanted this more. You had to
That
put
part.
something in it that I needed. If I can do it myself, then I'm not gonna need you. But if you can give me things and I'm like, oh, I needed that, I need this, I got this problem, and you can solve it, okay, let me give you a trial. Let me see what you can do.
That little
But
grace period.
like right, your grace period. You're on probation, 90
Okay.
days. What can you do?
Okay.
so,
Right, right.
so when it came time to like he put in the
Mm-hmm.
work, but like
Mm-hmm.
I said, that scheduling it started getting shaky. You're a streamer, you do the game. I get that. You're a night person, whereas my free
Mm-hmm.
time is after I get off work in
Mm-hmm.
the afternoon.
Yep.
The
Yep.
scheduling, the like the passion, the drive, all of it is something I've had to look into. And a lot of people, like I think we were just saying, they think is I'm getting on the microphone talking for 30 minutes, an hour, 15 minutes, just blah 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 about bullshit. No.
Because
There's
nowadays,
there's preparation.
yes, and then nowadays they got these podcasts like literally they just literally talk about the most stupidest things that don't even make sense. And I know stupidest is not a word, but it don't make sense. Like, and people get more. They feel like they gotta follow that. Like you ain't gotta be the same like everybody else. Be original. You know what I mean? Like you ain't gotta follow the crowd. Be yourself. That's you were born to be a leader. Like, make it make sense. That's all I'm saying. Just make it make sense. If you were born to be a natural born leader, then lead. Don't follow everybody.
Yeah.
You have to figure out what's your niche.
Like, make it make
Yeah, what
sense. That's
Right.
all I'm saying. Just
Yes,
make it make sense.
right.
If you were born to be a natural born leader, then lead. Don't follow
Yeah.
everybody.
that's it.
Yeah.
Be
And
different.
again,
Yes,
I like a lot of
indeed.
times people just want to
So,
get on here to just have a voice. They want to just be like you say. They think it's just getting on camera. When
Mhm.
just say for instance, like my podcast, the Straight Facts podcast. I don't just get on there and talk about that's what's trending right now. I can to get the views, but more so I want to build a platform where people can come tell their story, whatever they have, but also okay if they have a topic at the time that's trending. Okay, cool, let's touch it. But just to get on there and say something for clickbait and all that, I mean,
mm-hmm.
I don't feel that's authentic. I'm just not a content
It's
creator
not.
like that. Like I'm
No,
Yeah.
just
I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. It's not authentic at all. Yes, indeed. So, before we close out this show, what advice can we all offer each other to continue on with our platform to stay relevant, to stay, you know, upbeat, uptone? Like, what advice can we offer to each other? Starting with Easiana.
wow.
I would say personally, I would say remember your why. Remember why you started the podcast. Remember why you're doing this. Remember like
Mm-hmm.
even who you're putting this out for, because we all have different audiences. We all refer to our
Right.
audience as somebody different. So remember the people you're doing it for, your why, like, and just let that be your motivation to keep going. Remember
Yeah.
to think outside the box because we're all different. And we all have our viewers, our likes. We have people who are looking for us. We got to keep showing up. If nobody else gonna show up, you show up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Most definitely remember your why, man. Why
Mm-hmm.
you doing it, but also the consistency with it, man. You gotta be consistent. Like that's the main thing with this whole podcasting and content. You gotta be consistent. Like that's the only way that people really gonna chime in and tune in when they keep seeing it. No matter what it is, as long as they keep seeing something, that's what they gonna want to know. What is that? What's going on over there? Become a fan automatically. So just remember your why and being consistent, man. Consistency is key in whatever you do.
Absolutely, I agree.
I definitely agree too. And I always would say, don't go in it with the mindset of saying, "Oh, I'm about to make this amount of money or that amount of money," knowing that it's not gonna last.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Knowing that it's not gonna last. Cause when you have that mind frame, it's not gonna get there. I'm just letting you know. You might as well just do 4 episodes in, and you might as well just call it quits. Cause having that mind frame is not gonna work. Period.
No, definitely not.
It
You
takes
go,
time.
you gonna spend more money get with the right equipment and things before you even make a dollar. Just know
Oh,
that. Like,
say that. Say that.
that's what I'm saying. That's that right there itself. You know, for instance, I got a mic. I ain't using it now, but I got a mic. Now I paid $100 for it, just a microphone. You know what I'm saying? Just so things can sound better, sound crispy. Just you need that. And
Yeah.
Right.
again,
Good quality.
I haven't made a dollar off my podcast, but I spent money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about building and just like I say, man, be consistent. That's the main
For
thing.
real. Absolutely.
Cause I think when people see like these celebrities have their podcasts and they make money off of that, I'm like, that's them because they already built a name for themselves prior to starting the podcast. And you're not understanding that. Like you think, oh, we gonna get $10,000 today. No, you're not. You still gotta invest more.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And
Especially
and that's people.
I was about to say,
Go
especially if
ahead.
you're not on like a big network, or if you basically on your
Yeah.
own platform, like if you're not on the
Mm-hmm.
vault or anything like that, then yeah, no, you're not gonna start off getting paid.
No,
Like
at all.
no
Nah.
one knows you.
And
Who gonna
it,
pay you? Why would they pay you? Why would they pay you?
Right.
seriously.
Like,
Seriously.
why
Right. You dreaming big, babe, but you dreaming a little too big. Like,
Come on.
start that a little lower, then build it up.
Start, yeah, then work your way up. Do what you gotta do. Man, I'm so glad y'all came on tonight. I'm really, really glad y'all came on tonight. We done touched on this subject, like I said, disclaimer again and again and again. We are not throwing shade to nobody, but we just gonna talk about it.
Okay.
And if you gonna be in your feelings about it, hey, that's on your body.
Right. Okay. If you want to be Cinderella, wear that shoe.
You know, you know.
This was fun though. It was so nice to collaborate with some Black creatives. This is amazing.
Yes. And we did this a little different because, like I said, we always focus on like where we from originally. And I was like, I seen you when you followed me, Jess, on TikTok, and I was like, you know what? I need to collab. Yeah, I was like, I need to collab with her. And you a vibe. I like that.
Thank you so much. This is y'all. This is me. Okay, all the time. This is me. This is Jess.
Yeah.
And we love it. We love it. We thank you for coming. Like, I thank you for coming on. Thank you, brother, for coming on. And I appreciate y'all. Like, y'all don't even understand. Like, y'all done motivated me. Cause I was in a rut. I'm not even gonna front. I was in a rut for real. But I'm getting back up, getting this done. And then, hey, we gonna do what we gotta do. Keep it rolling.
With the
Come
ball, like I
on.
said, consistency now.
Mm-hmm. Consistency. Well, tell the people where to follow y'all, man. Tell them where to follow y'all so they can reach y'all.
Well, first off, starting me, you can follow my podcast on Instagram, as you see
Tell the
there,
people where to
Straight
follow
Facts
y'all.
Podcast. But you can follow me at Straight Facts Podcast on Instagram. You can spell it like that. STR the number 8. It's the number 8. Str8 Facts Podcast on Instagram. Str8 Facts Podcast. Wherever you get podcasts at, the Str8 Facts Podcast. Spelled like that.
Come on now. Come on, advertisement. Come on. Come on. Come on. You he did that. Look, I like that. Look, I'm taking notes, Miss, to get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can follow Honey Listen on all social media platforms. Honey X Listen. Honey X Listen.
Yeah.
All social media platforms. That one name is all you need. Okay. All right. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That's where we are. You can hear us on all major streaming platforms. We have seasons 1 through 3 right now.
She
Ready
said
for
1 through
you.
3.
It's waiting for you. Press play. Okay. 1 through 3, 4 is coming up in the summer, so we are ready.
Hello.
But come on, be a honey babe. Come.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate y'all coming on, and thank y'all again. Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 4 of Bayou Business Podcast. Make sure y'all follow us on all social media platforms. Bayou Business Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. And until next time, peace.